Meghan is overlooking the hardship that her husband is facing right now. I think he's crying for help. I think he is seeking something that he needs because he really is trying to find that. And I mean, only I think a person who is desperate would turn and say, well, I'll come back if you really want me to. I just want an apology. I mean, that sounds so childish to me. That sounds so immature and a cry for help, if anything. And Megan, as savvy as she is, I believe she knows he's crying for help. She knows that he needs more, but she'll overlook it because she's busy trying to find her sustainability in her commercial empire. And Harry is on a downward spiral to going nowhere in this life in California. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much you think you're living the life in a world of sunshine and superficial friends. But at the end of the day, we all come back to which has given us sense of purpose in life. And Harry will never find it in California. Never. I know this. I've experienced it, and I know the world that Harry comes from, and he will never experience it either. Real talk,
I
folks.
totally agree. Breaking right now, just when you thought Prince Harry couldn't get any more crazy, he has gone and demanded an apology from his brother Prince William before he returns to royal duties. This is an exclusive in the Daily Mirror. Prince Harry will not return to royal duties without apology from Prince William. Harry is open to taking up a temporary role supporting the royal family if King Charles were to ask, but would expect an apology from his brother first. Look, this is a new low for the Duke of Sussex. It shows you just how far out of any reality he is these days, especially given, do you not think his dad is maybe a little bit more concerned about battling really serious cancer, and his brother is maybe a little bit more concerned about seeing his wife, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, through an equally serious cancer battle? You would hope that those two seminal moments would make Harry just a little bit less selfish, but chance would be a fine thing. And to talk about all of this developing royal news, it's delightful to have back on Outspoken the wonderful YouTube sensation, P-Dina. P-Dina,
Hello.
so good to have you back. Can you believe this? Just when you think maybe he's starting to get a dose of reality and thinking, okay, I've got to get back in touch with my friends in the UK. I've got to try and make up with my dad. Things aren't going well with Meghan. Maybe I'll spend half the year in the UK. He then goes and demands that William apologises to him. And I'm sorry, that just puts things back to square one.
Absolutely. It's like, did anyone ask you to chime in about anything? They're just doing what they do. And it's like the entitlement of Harry to think that anyone is even thinking about him. I think he just wants people, okay, look at me, I'm over here. If you apologize, y'all come back, I'll come back. But they're doing what they're doing, focusing on their families, their duties. And Harry is just so self-centered in thinking that everyone needs to pay attention to me now. Look, that I want an apology because it's about me, because he really wants to go back. I think he really wants to be back in the fold of the work he was doing in the UK. Things are not going well in California, and he's trying to redirect the focus back to himself. And he's just very self-centered that way. And it's just unbelievable, the narrow-mindedness of this man, that you would think anyone would give you an apology for what? Like, what does he want an apology for? He's the one that should be apologizing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, actually, Harry has to give a groveling apology, not just to Charles and to William and Catherine, but also the entire British public and actually supporters of the monarchy all around the world, because he has done so much damage to the royal family.
Absolutely. And I think Meghan is, part of that. And she should be the one, I think, coming out and apologizing. She started this, and Harry tried to backtrack on it. He tried to say, I'm not going to talk about that during the Oprah Winfrey interview. And then he wanted to say, my family is not a racist family when he did that other interview. So with Tom Bradby. And I think no one's going to forget. It was recorded. You're the one that needs to apologize and recognize that your wife has put you in this conundrum. You should be telling your wife to apologize. That's where it needs to be directed. But I think Harry doesn't seem to put the focus on where it needs to be for there to be real change and movement forward. And he's always going to fall back in his life progressing to something better because there's no inward looking at what he has done and what his wife has done. And that's just where the problem is. It lies on himself and his wife. You can't try to change that by pointing the finger and saying you have to apologize. And it really is sad because it's just never going to work out. It becomes really pathetic at this point that you're asking for an apology at this point, Harry. You are a sad, pitiful, pathetic person if that's how you're trying to move forward because it's not going to work, you know?
I totally agree. I totally agree. But the thing is, P-Dina, this is no longer a functional marriage, is it? Because if you're even thinking about spending months and months and months on the other side of the world, away from your wife and your two children, something seriously wrong.
Yeah, because this is the thing. He would never be allowed to come to the UK with the children. We know that because he's never done it and he never will come without Meghan. I mean, without the children because Meghan won't allow it. Okay. So the idea that you are even offering to come back to the UK to work temporarily with an apology says a lot about the state of your marriage. It says a lot about how you want to move forward because you're willing to be separated from your wife to go do something that you weren't even asked to do. And you would not be coming with your children. And so I always say on my channel, Harry and Meghan are no longer aligned in purpose. And when your marriage is no longer driven with the same purpose, there is reason to take this marriage in separate ways, because that's the only way you can move forward together in a marriage. And Harry's purpose is no longer aligned with Meghan and being in the UK. You know, he was on this freedom flight. It's become boring to him. He has surrounded himself with a bunch of superficial people that really are not even wanting to be aligned with them anymore. A lot of people have been told by their publicists, you know, if you want to be friends with Harry and Meghan, that's fine, but you can't publicly be seen with them because their brand is toxic. They are toxic, and it could damage your brand if you are seen with them. And so right there, that is telling you they can't move forward with anything successfully with the connections that they have in Hollywood, right? So Harry sees this, and this is why he's trying to look across the pond to see, well, how can I try to have purpose, you know, where I'm from? And no one's asking him. And so Harry and Meghan, their marriage is doomed. It is absolutely doomed. And no amount of saying that he is happy, that he has friends here in America, that, you know, he's, you know, if that were the case, he would have never looked across the pond to have an apology or to work part-time. We know the signs of someone that is not happy. And that is when you start to look and your eyes start to drift and look this way. You know, it's almost like when you are in a marriage and you start looking at other women, something is wrong in your marriage. You are starting to look on the other side because you're not being fulfilled with this marriage. And Harry is not being fulfilled. And this is why he's looking the other way. And Meghan, of course, is not going to ever want to come back to the UK because that's not where she wants to be. She wants to be in this life of Hollywood and big dreams and build her commercial empire. And for her, sadly, that is also not going to happen, I don't believe, because she lacks the humility and talent to move forward a brand that people want to see. But she has to go through the motions for it to happen because she's still trying with her American Riviera orchard. So we know it's going to be doomed.
Yeah, I totally agree. Lots to pick up on there, but I wanted to just share with you this fascinating feature that has appeared in the past few hours in the Daily Telegraph here in the UK, because these are sources close to Prince Harry trying to insist that everything's okay. But one of the source quotes, this will have come directly from, you know, what Harry and Meghan's PR team is like. I found it absolutely fascinating, P-Dina, because they said, does he look like a man who is unhappy? Now, of course, they have put a picture there showing Harry looking happy in Colombia. But actually, when Harry was captured in real moments in Colombia, in the images that were not PR'd by Archewell, actually, P-Dina, I saw a completely miserable man.
You can see behind his eyes, and you can see that he's trying to put up a front for the sake of the brand, because keep in mind his feelings and, well, the way he's looking has to be happy for the sake of the brand to be successful. He can't show that because he knows it's contingent on, how they're perceived and their earning potential. So of course he's going to have moments where he has to show himself smiling, but then you have, you drop. These moments can't always be sustained. And this is why I think we saw moments where Harry did not look happy. Even his posture when he was speaking on the stage, how he was sitting, he just kind of had this way of his body posture was sitting back, almost like not really fully there in the way he sat. He just has this way about him that is slumping and not really fully engaged in what it is that he's doing. And that comes through sometimes with his body language. And, you have a picture on somebody in certain moments. Sure, you can tell any kind of narrative that you want. But the reality is, we know by what has come out wanting to go back, we know he's not a happy man. No one
Yeah.
is going to try to fool us with a couple of PR photos. No, we've seen them.
Well,
Yeah.
indeed, because look at the footage we were just looking at a moment ago, which was in the full glare of the cameras, and Harry was looking to try and get as far away as possible from Meghan, absolutely leaning into the interpreter who Angela Levin has revealed here on Outspoken was sacked from the rest of the tour, apparently because Meghan thought that there was far too much of a spark between them. And again, I find all of the denials that nothing is wrong very unconvincing. So back to this Daily Telegraph article, P-Dina. They write, as for the rumours that Harry is now estranged from all his old friends, supporters are quick to disagree. Of course he keeps in touch with his former circle, says one staunch Sussex ally, but it doesn't mean he wants to come back. Some old friends back in London still talk to him via an occasional FaceTime or WhatsApp, albeit they find some of Harry's new world baffling. But the thing is, that is just a lie, P-Dina. It's a straight out lie, because he cut contact with those people altogether. In my research over the past few years, I've spoken to a number of people who were incredibly close friends with Harry. And then when Meghan came on the scene, he cut them. So it is a case of him changing strategy, because she didn't want him to be in touch with these people. She felt that his old army friends and his old Eton friends and the sort of polo community were a bad influence on him in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. And also think about this. Why won't the friends come visit him if they have a good relationship? No one's come to visit with him because they don't want to, because of Meghan. She is the reason. And I don't know if Harry sees what is happening. I don't know that he sees that his wife has isolated him in this country to be alone and to feel alone and to try to paint a narrative that we know is not the truth. How long can he sustain this false facade? I just don't think he can. And I think he's begging for a way to come back. This is why we hear about him wanting to go back. And, he just think about the fact that you don't have friends, your family is not there. As a matter of fact, your father is ill, your sister-in-law, who you really adored, is ill right now. You have no more relationship with your niece and nephews. You are feeling so isolated. How happy can you truly be? We know as a human, we need these interactions, especially when you have a tight bond with your family, which Harry has always had. I'm sure it was exciting for him in the beginning, the freedom flight, but it's been like 4 years now, and reality is starting to set in for him that this is going to be my forever future. This is my life, and I am no longer aligned in purpose with my wife. I have to find another way. And this is why he wants to come back. And his friends, he says he has I read something where he has a lot of friends in America. Yeah, but these are not the same type of friends. And I'm not even
No.
sure I even believe that. You don't have any bond
Oh,
or
come on
connection
now, fake
with
Californian people. I mean,
Yeah.
Who could Us Weekly in that puff piece the other day point to, P-Dina? Only
Mhm.
Ellen DeGeneres. And I mean, I
Yes.
don't know if you have a view on Ellen, but from all of my reporting on her, she's been one of the nasty pieces of work in Hollywood that there is. So if she's
Yeah.
your so-called genuine friend in
Right.
California,
And
you're in trouble.
she's not liked here. I mean, we know her show was canceled because of how she treated her staff.
Yeah, just
You
like
know, she
Meghan.
yeah, exactly. So she's not well liked and received. She doesn't even associate with people that she once did associate with when she first came to the States. Where's Gayle King? Where's Oprah? Where's Tyler Perry? There's no mention of these people. Whenever we hear reports of her with celebrities, it's just in an article. There's never photos. And, Megan is just going to keep trying because that's in her DNA. She's very tenacious. She's going to keep trying, regardless of what it does to her husband, regardless of her tenacity and what she's trying to get. Forget what's happening with my husband. I've got to make it because Harry has already given as much as he can give. She's got the ring and the children. So Harry essentially is just the handbag sitting there, rotting on a shelf while she's pursuing that which she can with the attachment to royalty. And Harry is begging and looking for a way to find something that is going to sustain him. He sees how superficial this life is. I mean, I lived in LA for over 10 years, and the only kind of people you really truly meet in LA are the people who are looking to get something from you. Who can you connect me with, Harry? Who can you, help introduce me to help further my career? It's never going to be about Harry and how you're doing and what is really happening to you. People are self-serving because this is a state where the majority of people are looking to get into show business, and it's all about the relationships and who you know. And Harry is being used for his connections and who he knows. And I think he sees that. He'll never find true friends, true identity of people that want to know him for who he is. It's about what he can do for them, and he sees it. I mean,
Yeah.
I see right through this marriage.
Yeah, and he had those people. That's what's most tragic. And it was his wife who pulled them away. And I think actually the denials from Team Harry are very unconvincing. So in this Telegraph article, they claim he has no interest in returning to royal duties. His admirers object hugely to the idea that he is looking back, pining for any part of his former home. But then they talk about his life now, which they say is enviable. But they say there is meditation, a 30 to 40-minute session each day, scheduled in to make sure it happens, and exercise. Formerly at Barry's Boot Camp in LA, most recently with his personal trainers. I mean, that doesn't sound like a fulfilling life to me. The great thing about being independent now is I only tell you about products that I use and truly believe in and think can improve your life like they have mine. So let me talk to you about Verso. As you probably know by now, I've entered my 40s thinking about staying healthy. And one of the ways I did that actually was looking for ways that I could be fit and sharp, but also, I guess, find out how scientific evidence can help reverse the aging process with interventions. And so scientists like David Sinclair have done that. So I was looking for a product that I knew would enhance everything I was already doing, also backed up by solid evidence. This product is called Cell Being by Verso. It has scientifically proven ingredients that fight the effects of aging by increasing NAD+ levels. I hadn't heard of them, but it's so important because it is the stuff that powers every single cell in your body. Wow, it's made a difference to me. I've been using this product every morning for months now. It's been genuinely transformative. My fasting is easier. I've lost fat. I've lost weight. The team at Verso tell me it's due to its blood sugar regulating effects, which lead to fewer cravings. I'm sleeping better. I wake up with more energy. I even feel happier too. So this has taken years off my life. I'd love you to experience the same thing. Verso publishes third-party testing from each batch produced to guarantee that you're getting what you pay for. And I'm very excited to say that to March our launch, Verso is giving you an amazing offer. So if you head right now to buy.ver.so/outspoken, you'll save 15% on your first order. All you need to do is use the coupon code OUTSPOKEN. The link is in our show notes on YouTube and Rumble. But to repeat, buy.ver.so/outspoken, use the coupon code OUTSPOKEN.
No, I mean, where's the social connection? Where is his connection to his purpose in life? Everything that he was born to do, what he is driven behind with his passion. We know his passion is over in Africa and doing things that are meaningful for the children and the charities that he worked with. I know when he went over there to intern, he had a lot of work around people, vulnerable people that made him feel good that he was able to bring happiness and joy to people. You know, he's no longer doing something to give back. Harry is a man that has a lot. He can do pretty much the things that he wants to do. But, you know, and just like his mother, Diana, you know, their joy came from helping people and giving something back, something he's not really doing. In the things that you just listed, nothing was really truly about that. And I know he has worked with the Invictus Games, but that's something that is not a constant. It's an annual thing. It's not something that is sustaining him through the year. And it's a small part of his life, to be quite honest. And so, where is he really finding something that gives him actual purpose? Nothing was said with what you just read that gave him actual purpose in life. He's not going to find it in California. And it's so sad, you know, that Meghan is overlooking the hardship that her husband is facing right now. I think he's crying for help. I think he is seeking something that he needs because he really is trying to find that. And I mean, only I think a person who is desperate would turn and say, well, I'll come back if you really want me to. I just want an apology. I mean, that sounds so childish to me. That sounds so immature and a cry for help, if anything. And Megan, as savvy as she is, I believe she knows he's crying for help. She knows that he needs more, but she'll overlook it because she's busy trying to find her sustainability in her commercial empire. And Harry is on a downward spiral to going nowhere in this life in California. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much you think you're living the life in a world of sunshine and superficial friends. But at the end of the day, we all come back to which has given us sense of purpose in life. And Harry will never find it in California. Never. I know this. I've experienced it, and I know the world that Harry comes from, and he will never experience it either. Real talk,
I
folks.
totally agree. No, I totally agree. And the thing is, it's interesting, P-Dina, because you talk about where he gets his focus now. And unfortunately, it's only in two areas. So one is all of the lawsuits against the media, which is, of course, really toxic and unhealthy and not a particularly positive place that you want to be. And the other is in his battles over security, where he's suing the British government, which is actually his father's government, and he's desperate for his dad to step in, which would actually go against all sorts of royal protocol. And there's a threat, another threat in this new article in the Daily Telegraph. Let me read it to you, P-Dina, because this is just breaking right now. So this article reads, if only his security in the UK could be permanently settled in line with his wishes, a Sussex source tells the US celebrity magazine People, it would be quote unquote swords down on his interviews. Until then, the need to make serious money remains. So another threat from Harry to the royal family. And I'm sorry, he's not getting this security. Like, when is he going to understand? It's not going to happen. That is a choice that the government has made. King Charles cannot overturn it.
Yes, it sounds like, yeah, he's making a threat. He's trying to be a bully. He's trying to say, I need this, give it to me, or else I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And, you know, you just see that as, you know, Harry being spoiled, always getting what he wants, never wanting to accept no. And I think that is what the problem is. You know, when you're someone like Harry, who has grown up with the privilege that he has had his whole life, it's hard to take the harsh realities of life when you are truly just a regular person. And right now, as far away as he is from royalty, every day he's becoming just that regular person. And he is no longer in line with the privilege that he once had. And I think he's finding it very difficult to become just a regular person. He made the choice to be a regular person. You made the choice to leave royalty. So with that comes just being who you are without all these things that you had as a royal person. And I think it's a harsh reality for him, but a good one for him to learn something and to understand that sometimes you just can't have everything you want. And it's good that he has to keep trying to fight for it, help him to learn some skills of, okay, I'm a try, but hey, no is no at the end of the day, and there's nothing I can do about it. He's going to keep trying, but he'll fail every single time. It's unfortunate for him. I just hope that, because we know he has mental issues and problems. I just don't know that he's really able to learn anything. I mean, when have they ever looked at themselves as the
I know.
problem?
But the thing is, he's
When?
40. He's 40 years old, and that's where I have a
Yeah,
problem. This idea that we should
yeah.
keep infantilely. Sorry, I can't say that word. That we should keep treating him like a little
I,
kid.
yes. Well, I think because when his mother passed away,
Infantilizing him. That's what I was wanting to say. Sorry.
yes, yes. I think a lot of people give him credit for that only because he was so young when his mother passed away. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people think he stopped really mentally growing when that trauma happened for him. But I think he'll overcome it at some point. You'll understand at some point, okay, hey, look, with the hardships of life, getting knocked down, sometimes you got to get up, pick yourself back up and just keep going and maybe doing something different. And that's what has to happen for him. He has to realize he's settled into a normal life as someone who is pretty much not really royalty. He's not royalty really anymore in America. And
No,
I don't think he really
exactly.
understands.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.